Welcome everyone to another RGL cast. My name is Jared. I'm here with Space Ghost to bring you guys 3D3M versus Thrembology. This is RGL Invite 6's Season 11 Week 6B, and we got a little rematch on our hands. Last time we saw these two teams earlier on in the season, it was a very close 3-2 victory in favor of 3D3M on Gullywash, and both teams have a pretty similar record. And they're kind of hungry for a win. I think it's fair to say that it's likely that they're going to be adjacent to each other when it comes to the final standings at the end of Week 9. Here only on Week 6. There's still a lot to go, but this is one of the matches that these two teams are going to look back to is like, if we won this match, maybe we could have been ahead of them and that much closer to, being a bubble playoff team or maybe even, sneaking our way in sometime in the future. So a little bit of a grudge match trying to get their revenge for the side of Thrembology, and 3-3M showing that they are much more than what they previously showed the last time that these two matched up. But I'm hoping for a really nice rematch, especially with some extra, things tossed in the mix that weren't the same as previous, as I think both these teams since then have made at least one roster change.
Indeed, we do have some roster changes, roster mix-ups, potential ringers, a lot of shenanigans going on. But roster changes aside, we are in a rematch season of, the season. So that means there's going to be a lot of rematches, a lot of potentially, exciting rematches coming up. We got, I think we have Fred vs G6 coming up at some point in the future.
We have a very loaded week. It's so loaded that I think all four prospective playoff teams are playing each other in different matchups on Thursday, and we can only cast one of them. So it's a pretty good week. But for tonight, let's go ahead and talk about these roster changes that we kind of alluded to that they're going to be shown here on Sunshine, which is the map pick. For the side of 3D3M, you have Rakuso and Raph on Scout, Walrix and Pauldog on Soldier, Nooch aka Vati on Demo, and I think Platinum is ringing Medic tonight in place of, I think Dank was onto their roster and was playing matches earlier, who replaced Mopsy, who played the very beginning of the season. So that's going to be the roster change for the side of 3D3M, and then Thrembology has one as well, though.
Thrembology has one as well. We got JT and Wonder on Scout, Saxophone and Speedy on Soldier, Averted on Demoman, and Divine on Medic.
Yep, the departure of Cadet. Wonder taking the spot on Combo Scout, and Speedy dusting off his original. Rejoining a team, playing Pocket Soldier for the side of Thrembology, and that will be the change on their side. Both these teams, I think we've casted them like an okay amount, and I think it's fair to say that even beyond this match in particular, they've been pretty competitive with a lot of the neighboring teams, whether it's teams that are much better than them or teams that might be a little bit worse. So you can never really know what to expect, as I think that kind of, no offense to them, but an inconsistency in terms of like how you are able to put yourself on the field in terms of your skill level and prevent being upset kind of leads it to an exciting matchup, because it's not like, okay, despite them being adjacent to each other, it's going to be a 5-0. Like, even if you kind of like have an idea of what you think the final outcome is going to be, there's still some X factors at work, and you never know what a new map will bring either. So Sunshine, I think, is pretty neat to watch. There's some Sunshine Last kind of gets in the way sometimes, but but what we'll see.
Yeah, true. I actually I do like Sunshine. It's a fun map to play. I do looking at the roster here, I believe 3D3M now, considering this match is 3D3M, we might have to talk about, if we're gonna ask, what's the 0.5 match wins?
All right.
A certain stinky team, 3D3M, had, speaking of inconsistency, they have a consistent issue with having the right config, and eventually I believe that resulted in a penalty. So yeah, that's why they have 0.5 wins. Is they would have 5 wins, but a certain,
so they literally can't tie anyone.
Yeah, they can't tie anyone, which I guess that's a positive. But you'd prefer to have that 0.5 wins as opposed to not having it. But maybe, I'm sure this time there's some way they do it 4 times in a row in cast, right?
I'm sure of, like, once you actually get this punishment, you like really deep dive, like, okay, what's actually happening that's kind of preventing us from having the right config on. So either you fixed it by now, or you've just resigned to like not playing matches on your server. Like, you just say, no, your server, we're fine here, because it's not your problem if it's not your server, right?
Yeah. We're using Thrembology server, so crisis averted.
That works out.
Well, we do have I think one thing to I feel like the interesting thing that Wonder switching to Scout and Speedy on Soldiers, I feel like Speedy could also play Scout.
He could. Like I think Wonder has kind of high ping though, so like if he can pull off Scout, he's probably wants to get out of like high ping prison.
Yeah, right now he has 60 in the server, but that does make sense. I just think it's interesting that they are more comfortable switching Wonder to Scout than like leaving their Soldier like combo in place and just putting Speedy in pocket because maybe Wonder has been calling. Who knows? Could be a calling issue.
It
Not
could
an
just be
issue, but
Speedy's like, I'll play if you let me play Soldier.
yeah,
It could be
that could
simple
be a
as
thing.
that,
Yeah,
but
Soldier. Yeah, I can see that. Scout sometimes is you have to go babysitting and it's boring. I do understand the vibes there.
taking a look at the pick bands that have been on the screen for a while now. One interesting thing here is, I mean, I think it's normal. The side of 3-3M, they probably themselves view like, yeah, we're the better team. Like we just we had a bad night. As long as we avoid upset maps, we should be good. So it makes sense. They banned all the upset maps. Thrembology got rid of a lot of the staples. And it kind of left a couple in the pool. One thing that's a little bit curious. It's not that curious, but
They split up the cots.
both teams, when they played Gully Wash really close, they both left it in, so both were actually confident that, like, it's
Yeah,
okay to leave Gully in, we don't need to get rid of it, because if it comes to it, we're okay revisiting that map. Thrembology are like, yeah, okay, we barely lost it, we know what we need to do to push it the extra mile and win at that time. And 3D3M are also like, oh, well, it was a rough match, we eventually won it, we know also what we need to change to make sure it's more clean. So I think that would have been kind of neat if it was just a complete throwback. I don't think we've seen that very often, like in recent times, where uh, a map that was previously played, he like gets picked ASAP, just right back in. It's like, yeah, we
yeah.
know what we need to change. It's always a different one, especially because there's so many maps in the pool that you kind of like you don't really have to. Um, but that could have been neat to see. But no, Sunshine it is pretty wide open. It's going to be really nice for the scouts, and the soldiers are going to be put to the test to make sure they can be really effective. They got the Skybox to really work with them though, but depending
Yeah,
on where you
this is
are, that might be about it.
if you want a full send, get a lot of deaths. But if you want to go in, get a lot of kills, land on like face plant into the enemy team. This is a good map to do. The skybox is rather large. You can jump in, and you can if you want to land directly on them, you can. It is an option. Might not be a good option, but most certainly is an option. The predictions up on the scoreboard now. Last time these guys played, as Mr. Jarrett mentioned, it was on Goalie Wash, and I believe 3D3M won 3-2. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was a pretty close game last time. I'll have to see if it's close this time. But there are roster switch ups, so you really could be seeing anything. I'm kind of tempted to almost. I feel like Thrembology has a bit bigger question marks going on right now.
I
But
agree.
I don't think it's that big that I'm not going to give him at least a round or two.
Uh, I think my mindset about predicting is I feel like even though they have platinum instead of dank, I still feel like their roster will probably be a little bit better. It's always just really nice to like get back to like a like no diss to Mopsy, but going back to a player that like consistently played their class for seasons upon seasons leads to like it
Yeah,
just
just having it be
there's some consistency there, and I think that might be what 3D3M kind of needs to keep their ship afloat. For the side of Thrembology, I don't know exactly how this change is going to work for them because Speedy is kind of a question mark in that there's a lot of times you can watch Speedy play and he just destroys the server, and it does not matter if he's playing Soldier on a map like Sunshine.
Yeah.
He'll find a way. But there's also times where the pace at which he wants to play is so aggressive that it might not be in sync with his teammates. And
Yeah.
it can even lead viewers to like think that
Speedy's on pocket,
this
right?
dude's just feeding. Like, yeah, except it doesn't even matter that he's on pocket. He's on Soldier, which is so because he's on Soldier, there's a level of aggression that he could show that I am worried, and I'm unsure if it will be in sync with his teammate. If it is, it could be perfect. But if it's not, and this is a big map, Sunshine, there's a lot of ground to cover to catch up with who you're actually targeting and things of the like. It could lead to him just like either accidentally or purposely just feeding and being on a respawn timer. So I think that's the big question mark. I think if Speedy is like in a prime position and he has found a way to like seamlessly get in with his team and work with them right off the bat, like no synergy issues, then Thrembology will be extremely scary. But there's always going to be this thought in the back of my mind of like, if they are not in sync, this could be really bad. And it makes it hard to predict. I think because there is that giant question mark there, it leads me to still believe 3D3M as the favorites, and I'll say like a 4-1.
Yeah, I'm gonna go actually. I'll say a 3-2 again. I think we run it back. I'm not
Could
sure
be.
what. I'm gonna say 3D3M with a 3-2 again, running it back. Different map, same result. That's my personal thing. But I wouldn't be surprised if Thrembology pulled it out because again they were very close last time they played. So I think that Thrembology are gonna, regardless of how they get it, I think they're going to get some rounds. I don't think it's gonna be a roll. It could be a slow roll. I could see that, but I don't think it's gonna be like a mid the last over and over again kind of game.
Yeah. The difficult thing is as well is there's such different maps, Gullywass and Sunshine. The ways that you try to win, like either through either your mid strategies or playing off of a particular player's strengths, like, oh, our demo or soldiers are really good, so we can shut down Gullywash really hard, and or like they have really good scouts, but it doesn't matter because it's Gullywash, lol. It's like
Yeah.
that's not really the same thing here. So you're going with a completely different skill set as a team, as in who's going to be your star player, what play you're going to run, and how you're going to try to take the lead. But we are not too much farther away from getting to see how that is about to go, as we are live officially 3D3M versus Thrembology here on Sunshine, and both teams rolling out. And it's not that long of a roll, but they're working their way here, and we're about to get into our first mid of the game.
Indeed, we're able to get into our first minute of the game. Both demos actually electing to go Valley, so we're going to see some Valley aggression, but both demos actually electing to go to the same side as well, so we're going to see both mids end up face planting into each other, Walrax and Sax being the first two trades. As we do have a soldier, Speedy is in Cafe, and Raph is going to try to take a fight with him and actually damage Speedy enough he's going to have to back out. Red team looking pretty a little sketchy here, and they're going to back up, but they have to make sure Averted stays alive. Walrax hurt or Wonder hurt as well.
Yeah, they took so much damage there.
Yeah, they took so much damage, but I think that's a wise decision to back up there, make it a 5v5. Yeah, make sure Blue doesn't take this second free, make him work for it.
Yeah, they had the roamer trade, which was fine, but then 3D3M was able to take Tetris and make sure that there was no room for the side of Thrembology. All inside each other's models ate too much spam, so just had to back up. They almost, the last bit of spam they ate on their way out, almost killed two of them. They just had too much health to be able to collect those. But bomb coming in from Polydog. This is the sack from them. They're not really going to find any rockets on Divine, who will be safe. And yeah, it's a really nice air shot from the side of Speedy. And they are already on the move, trying to get some space and get towards the choke to see if Saxophone can find his way. And he's in very deep into the roll through a valley.
Speedy's peeking from the other door though. He's doing a lot of damage.
They did get played. It was a 3
3 for 2. They managed to get 2. That's pretty good. The aggression was crazy. That Speedy just walled them in from Cafe. Averted might be caught out. The Averted is a little overextended. Can he stay alive? Oh, Raph doesn't know the damage.
The arrow.
And he gets
pipe though. VOD gets the kill on the Divine.
Yeah, that's a double drop. All right, we're less than 2 minutes in the game already. We have 2 drops, so that's about equaling 1 drop per minute if my math is correct.
Yeah, fighting in the red team's territory, so Blue has to be careful. Might get a kill on the Averted Polydog. It was able to be successful with bomb on Devati. He's able to get the 1, but the other remaining players that were rolling out will be able to collect that frag, but they still only have those 2 left alive. Walrax is in, but a bit too early. Yes, you fight that, but not at that time, and we talked about how long it takes for you to cover ground appropriately, and the missed time is going to lead to be 1 down for the side of 3D3M, but they will collect Speedy. Had to enter Valley for it, though. Both scouts are at this door trying to stuff them out. Platinum actually left the opposite direction as the side of the team, and with no heals, Rap's going to die on his way out. Miscommunication not once but twice from 3D3M on the pace at which they were going to play that, as well as the exit location. Bit too committed and going to be 1 scout down as Thrembology. They're trying to use the space. They know Rap's not there. Speedy's not there either, but they will get that respawner way ahead of them. Sax.
Oh, Sax.
So much damage on him, he saves himself. Nice, but the ball misses.
Oh,
Wonder gonna die though. He's still alive with this HP.
JT died though. Yeah, both scouts died. They saved Sax, but at what cost? As it ends up having both scouts that played him pretty hurt though. 15% left on his Uber to build. As Averted, he got doubled, and Scout steals the triple. Unfortunate.
On the medic.
Polydog, he's on the medic, but good surfing, good jukes, as that's actually gonna be killed. But Divine gonna die, unfortunately.
Sax going for a play though, maybe.
Yeah, both medics ended up dying.
Oh, never mind, just eat some spam. But yeah, there's a lot of chaos in all these fights. It seems like things spiral out of control.
That's what happens when there's no when there's no Ubers. I feel, and both teams want to play aggressive. It's just these kind of like scuffed fights, and they just keep happening. Both teams showing that they're not they don't want to really slow the game down if they don't have to. I think.
Yeah, they're both willing to try, and they don't. It seems like both of them are maybe a little bit reckless on spotting, which is leading to a team attempting to push and then immediately being thwarted and things rubber banding back and forth constantly. If you don't try to assess like who is the free kill, or like, yes, it's generally free, but what about this one door where they could screw me over? Are they there? And if you don't have that small amount of patience to at least check for that, then it can lead to an unfavorable outcome, which it would otherwise be free. But Raph on Sniper to try to break this down. It took a little bit of damage inside dungeon, but we'll be fine rotating out. You have the counter Sniper up on Wonder, so we might see an SVS soon. But overall even as both medics arrive to their Uber, so we'll start to see 3D3 maybe peek a little bit deeper. Raph probably want to peek into this left-hand side from the attacker's perspective. If you can't see anyone down the other hallway, it's a little bit easier to get more room. But the Dillman of Averted has rotated there, has stickies up, and overall Thrembology are actually playing pretty centralized. Whatever door that they try to go to, they're able to get there to actually stuff it pretty easily, and they won't find a weak door, 3D3M. But If they are able to find a way to get past the stickies, past
Wonder's out
the
on
Wonders,
Spy.
actually, yeah, not even Wonder Sniper Sightline, then they're that step.
If they're going to
one
play
step
that
closer to
slow,
get to
I don't blame
Divine.
them.
Yeah.
Because blue team's playing so slow. Raph is trying to peek now, but our Pipe's constantly streaming his way. And Raph's peeking like they're playing normal, but they're not playing normal. They're playing against the wall, which means Raph has pretty much no angles here to work with, other than the players actually peeking the door.
Yeah.
He has no like big prime juicy targets. He only has like the soldier spamming through, which are good targets, but it's not the ideal thing you want on Sniper. But that's actually gonna be a trade as Wonder does drop Platinum, but they lose 2 for it. They lose Wonder and they lose Speedy trying to defend the door. Raph still on Sniper, but he's gonna back up for Kusa's spotting lower. And this is gonna, once they get their spawns, this is gonna signal a slow push, but he ended up getting a drop in the end.
Alright, it's time for Deja Vu. Time for Divine to drop.
I was gonna say
they did it once before, now to do it again. It's gonna be Polog on this corner. It probably won't actually, but that is gonna be.
He's gotta hide in the bush. He's gotta use the camouflage. The camouflage there actually works, believe it or not.
But actually, JT's on Spy to make sure they don't have any off classes. There's a sniper from the side of Raph still available at the choke, trying to peek a doorway. And I think Thrembology know that if they're gonna have to, if they want to push through here, they have to pop. They can't really play very slow. But Poldog actually spots him going through a dungeon, gets tons of damage on them. Read that very, very well. It kind of thwarted them from being able to walk through for free, be able to pop, and actually not losing anyone. Maybe Sax is able to get the final kill on the people in the valley, but no, would just take a lot of damage himself. Mind the poster, but they're in the stickies. Oh my god, even dead. They backed up through Shutter, but I don't think VOD had the sight line, but they definitely have the room. They're starting to poke through. They have the sniper. They're working their way through the choke.
No Ubers yet, though. They gotta be careful. Walrus is so hurt. Gotta be careful. Walrus is gonna fall. They're gonna trade out Sax for it, but Soldier down. He's at Speedy can just get up Platinum.
Platinum's
for free.
dead.
And Platinum's gonna die again to Speedy, so big play there from Speedy getting Platinum, and that Uber ad has quickly gone down the drain. And Wonder and Scatter just speeding everyone up.
Yep, only 2 left alive from the side of 3DTM, and VOD is out in no man's land. You do not want to be here as a demo man. Rakuso is playing off.
Oh, Rakuso though!
Wonder. He's going ham right now, but only damage spread between 2 targets, unable to clean up. And VOD, this is going to be a very late demo man death. At least get 1 kill on your way out. Like, you have to, otherwise this is Omega feeding. But they aren't able to fight him. He gives him the jukes. Goes one way, circles back the other. Will eventually die. Pipe on his Speedy. Will not be enough to collect the kill, but at the end of the day, a very, very late demo man death. Respawn timer of 15 seconds means not only do the red team have Uber out here, but they can even maybe milk it.
There's they can just walk in for free.
No Speedy on the field anymore.
Yeah, Speedy gonna be hurt, gonna back up the wall. And Sax actually gets bombed from behind. Huge plays there actually from Walrus. He managed to bomb out, and Platinum's dead again. Very unfortunate, and he got caught in, I think, a miscommunication there, as blue team is hard committing for this. They want to get this forest at any cost.
Yeah, got the med, so pretty much a free Uber to get as many kills as possible. Able to collect both soldiers. They have 1 scalp left behind. Inside of Raph might be able to go for some sort of pinch play, but there's too many people from Thrembology alive. Maybe going for Sax, trying to hide. Maybe get the kill. Rolling out, might be able to find the soldier, but does not choose the correct door. And red team, they're able to dry. They know that 1 scalp behind potentially, plus 2 soldiers dead. Unable to bomb. He walks through this, and they're just walking through. VOD, a little bit out of position, able to trade, but the trade is not favorable for a demo man. They're just walking their way through. Rakuso takes some damage, trying to stuff, knowing his soldiers aren't quite there. Needs to buy some time, but they are finally arriving. Don't have
Raph
left,
gets
so
the kill behind.
Able to get the kill on a Speedy, taking the 1v1 and being successful in that endeavor. So all of a sudden, Thrembology, on the back foot, 2 down. They're trying to stuff this. Nice kill from the side of Averted onto Rakusa, but the soldiers are in hot, trying to get some damage onto Saxophone to get that kill onto, but unsuccessful for now. Barely escaping the will die to fall damage. Raph running forward and getting a lot of damage into the choke, but Averted and Divine will stay alive as they back up and concede mid. But no scouts available for 3D3M. Thrembology know this. They don't have Uber, but they don't need it. They're walking back in.
If they can get through the door, that's all they need. But Divine, he's 30 health just trying to get through the door. The spam is real, and he's going to peek in even though he has 50% left on his Uber with 30 HP. Divine, his team definitely called that they're out. There is so much damage happening in the spawn. Polldog might fall just trying to leave his spawn.
And the choke too.
They're just in. Oh my god, the damage. They gotta clean up these kills though. JT gonna fall, not gonna help with the damage cleanup. But red team is in, and both teams do have Uber. It's gonna be about who blinks first here, and it looks like red is gonna back up. Thrembology deciding that bought off a little more than they could do.
Yeah, lost JT there was a bit unfortunate. They got piped twice in the side of choke, but actually they're pushing the rally, just trading 1 for 1, and actually Thrembology are getting swarmed right now. Bomb on the medic, actually no, choosing a different target, going back for Speedy, very weak, will get scattered down by the side of Rakusa. Only 3 left alive, and Perverted might be in trouble. The jump is not what it needs to be. He put the sticky down and jumped into the corner instead of into the choke. That is a late dome man death, and will definitely not be getting forwards anytime soon. At least the side of Thrembology still has the Uber, but for how much longer? They're going to barely get their forwards, but the bottom of the Sax zoning him out of the cap area. They're getting extra space, and Speedy's up on heavy inside of the forwards to thwart them backwards. 3D3M don't have the Gentleman, so they know it's not as free as they would like it to be. And actually, Thrembology, as soon as they get the respawners here, they know there might be a small window where VOD isn't able to sticky down anything, and they might get extra room and maybe go for a trade or go for a sack. And we see some soldiers.
Or maybe just walk in. Looks like they want to just walk in. Look, they're all in. But Paul Dog is behind. Speedy and Paul Dog gonna fight. We'll see if they can live. Paul Dog, he's actually gonna get cleaned up, so the bit of flank aggression to end up backfiring is that is another player down. But now the demo's up, now traps are up, and it's gonna be a lot harder to push in. So Paul Dog ended up dying, but he might have prevented a bigger disaster as they had to turn to go fight him. That they couldn't get through the door. JT hiding in a corner. Here comes the flank play. This is really smart. I like this. JT in, but he can't do any damage. I actually like that. They pogoed in, someone looked at the soldier just as the scout turned, but JT unable to get the damage in. So
that play last time is what caused the drop too. So.
Yeah, no, that's a good play. It just might not work multiple times, but
the
still.
Stickies
Allrex is in.
The Sticky's out on body. They got so much room on the Divine. He
Divine
lived with 6 HP after the fall damage. They're gonna give up Wallrex for it though, so a little bit less spam to actually lock down these doors. The body's here. Averted takes some damage, and Divine has to actually go back to spawn. No pack available, aren't able to bust out here and have a good post. They're chasing the sacks though. Raph putting some extra damage on them, but able to escape to spawn. And overall, with Wallrex rolling out, even Uber's gun going up, they might sack Paul Dog. Yeah, they're sacking Paul Dog now. Divine caught a position, maybe the headshot.
Oh my god.
With 4 HP.
This man is it.
Once again, the 2-man is unsuccessful, and actually they're counter-sacking onto Plaid right now, but Saxophone unable to find a rocket onto the medic, so Plaid will live with 150 A-OK as sacks are going wild right now.
Divine is an absolute maniac. He's lived multiple times on like less than 5 HP, and he just does not care. Will not pop his Uber. He doesn't care about the drops. You know, sometimes you gotta drop in order to make miracles happen. And Divine so far, you know, they have given up multiple points here, but a lot of lesser medics would have popped in his position.
Also unafraid of the fall damage, especially when you get headshot rocketed. That's an irregular velocity that's more than just like falling off a great height, so it's hard to kind of predict how much that damage it's actually going to be. So that's either really smart by him or extremely ballsy that just paid off twice in a row within a span of 60 seconds.
Yeah, Paul Dog on Sniper going to try to peek the doors, but last time the snipers weren't able to get too much as Red Team has the anti-sniper hold kind of on lockdown at least so far. Look how much damage Paul Dog's taking just trying to peek the door.
Yeah, he's pretty far back, but no, he's not really afraid until someone hyper commits. So we'll have to see which door he really tries to go for a hero shot for, because I don't think with Thrembology's positioning, a sniper is going to be able to do too much unless you find a way over onto this left-hand side from the attacking perspective and get tons and tons of room. The gun isn't on that side, so they might be able to get some room there, but where they are now, currently, like peeking that door, all you're going to do is get the gun, maybe, if that, but that might be a bit difficult. So someone's got to give eventually. There's a roamer battle happening on that side, and after Wallrex will be able to collect that frag and live too, taking the pack. And there's the one pick that might be able to use to get this gun down, maybe buy Paul Dog some extra room, but they had to expend a little bit of health to get that kill in the first place.
Paul Dog might just, Paul Dog almost getting died there, but gonna end up getting a pack, and he's actually gonna be peeking a little more aggressive now. And JT gonna fall too.
Peeked, and then
Divine got forced.
Yeah, they sacked in like 1 or 2 at the same time. That's enough
Paul Dog
chaos
might fall
to make
too
the gun not be able to chase properly.
Oh, he's committing for Paul Dog, and he actually might get out. So that is gonna be a 3-man in the end. You're gonna get JT, but with 3 people dead, they're gonna be able to commit here and get a lot of damage. And VOD might be getting caught up. VOD is gonna get caught up. Platinum's gonna get forced, and Raphael's gonna drop. Everyone died.
Oh, this is not what you want if you're a 3D3M fan right now. Thrembology, it was almost disastrous the way that Uber kind of happened, but overall, getting 2 kills for the Uber and then collecting some, like 2 more afterwards, plus the Uber force is like so perfect that it's not even your expectations on how you would expect that to go. Overall, taking mid here pretty much for free. There was no one from the side of 3D3M available to really hold that. They knew that, so they're about to too, but even though, you know, you got your whole squad here for the side of 3D3M, they do have a disad they have to work against Thrembology. They're already on the move, kind of showing their hand maybe slightly early that it might be Valley. Was probably spotted, so we'll see how
there's a lot of players looking in that direction. Actually, they're just going to Uber in though. Might have called their bluff. There's a lot of players very close. Body might be hurt. He's actually going to back up, and they get Paul Dog. They get Wallrex. That is 2 soldiers down. That means they might have an opportunity here to make something happen. As Uber team, they do have Uber, but they're down 2 soldiers. Going to make this a little tough to push out of it. It's going to buy some time. Sack's a little bit too aggressive. That's going to fall on Speedy.
Raph goes ham.
Raph goes ham as well. He gets averted. Speedy going to back up, and that's going to mean we're in kind of a leapfrog situation. But Red Team they're not really in a position to get this force.
They're just going to be able to get second for free, and they're actually continuing to chase. Speedy, I think might have overstayed his welcome a bit too much over there in Valley, but will barely live at 14 HP. They're getting close to the Uber, but not quite yet, as 3D3M, they're starting to barrel through the choke. Bomb from Sax is a bit of a
Oh,
fade.
Playdom
Vlad
gets
does
forced.
eventually have to pop, though, so trying to chase people down. But Walruk's actually going to go a bit too far forward. And the flank from
players behind.
Thrembology are behind right now through the side of Cafe. Speeding goes over to the cap. Actually, JT taking the 1v1 versus Rakusa, but the whole squad is there. As, you know, they bought some time, but will give up too.
They literally, like, pretty much every single player went back, and they got the flank kills, but at what cost? There is a lot of gamers in Rakusa. Actually, he's gonna get the force pretty early. Not ideal there, but there's a medic just caught out in the no man's land. That's gonna be a medic kill, but there's a lot of chaos happening behind us now. It's Thrembology who's behind. Averti gonna get the kill on Raph, and can they keep Divine alive? They cannot.
The spam from Walrex from
the
Vast
spam
just
from
gets
just
the medic
spawn.
kill.
Yeah, just the rollout medic kill. Love to see it as Divine's gonna die, but overall I think this is a victory for 3D3.
Yeah,
for Thrembology.
For Thrembology. There was a severe problem from the side of 3D3. And Rakusa definitely spotted and called the Valley push, but I think they probably thought that it was on the opposing side of Valley, that they thought that 2 was safe, but it was on the 2 side of Valley. So they backed up into the choke right into the Uber, so might have been a small miscommunication there on like the direction that the Uber was going and on actual side of Valley that it was in, and that kind of was the nail in the coffin for that. After they lost, I mean, they salvaged a bit. They got Divine, which led them to the ad they have now, but they're still on last. So it'd be much nicer to be not pushing out of last and be actually on 2. As the back cap shenanigans are in full force, even more so for last than they are in any other portion of the map. So Divine and friends just building up, getting ready to go. But you got all this off class for 3D3M. They should know they have ad. Divine died way later. Maybe they just think it's not big enough.
Maybe they're
safe, don't want to
yeah.
bother.
Especially in a 0-0, they don't want to be the ones to blink first, give up the next point. But I could see that. The Cristo on Engineer, and actually the 3D3M hold is pretty similar to the Thrembology hold as well. Kind of a anti-sniper. Even though there's no snipers, they're kind of standing in the same spots. Now Raph, speaking of which, Raph now on the defensive sniper. You're looking at the door, and yeah, 2 minutes down, and it's now that they have Uber, it's finally up to Thrembology to actually sack. They have less time to do it than normal, considering they have to build Uber for a good portion of it.
2-manning, but unable to get their way through. Actually, one of the scouts that wanted to run it immediately got shut down and was unable to even work their way through, but Walrex and gets shot down by the side of Wonder, unsuccessful. So overall, 1 for 1 there will not really lead to much. Raph on Sniper for any shenanigans that Thrembology tried to pull, but Saxophone will respond in kind, so maybe we'll finally see an SPS.
Wait, look at Rakusa's tele entrance. It's in the corner and it goes back to spawn. It's like the reverse tele. But they're gonna get Raph actually. Wonder on an 8K.
He was so deep in the doorway.
Yeah, he was on defensive. Yeah, on defensive sniper, that's kind of crazy. That's going for a hero shot or something. But Rakusa's gun is still there and it's in a power position. But Rakusa's got to be careful. He's gonna falling low to the spam that's aimed at the gun. And they actually might get Raph up in time just trying to get this gun. Rakusa is doing God's work and he did good. Actually kills Speedy and they get sacked.
And he cleans up as well. So that's technically a 2-man, but there's definitely going to be some room made from the side of 3D3M. They're trying to poke around. Walrus is probably on the case, trying to thwart JT away. Raph taking space with the side of Polydog over on the plat area. And JT, all alone over near Choke, will lose the 1v2. There's only 3 left alive for the side of Thrembology.
Mine has to get forced.
They are actually able to find their
way on
Averted as well. Oh, this is disastrous for the side of Thrembology. They're able to get a couple near the end, though, but they're going to give up some as well, so not going to be too favorable. The cap really goes 3M's way, and they're just on the chase. Raph not close enough to be able to actually kill anyone in the side of Cafe, but they're still kind of showing here.
There's Scout ulti duo happening right now, but it's actually Raph is going to be the little fall, and the Red Scouts don't really get hurt that much. Now it's Blue turns back up. They got through the choke, but they just kind of lost. There was just the big, double buff Scout fight, and Raph is going to end up being the one who falls in the end, as Thrembology is screaming through this choke. They are going in.
Yeah, only 1 player advantage, but they're definitely trying to use it, but they're not really getting too much space. They're actually taking a lot of damage just standing in the choke to begin with.
Speedy might
Speedy
fall.
will bomb, but will die. Same with JT.
Well.
They've rotated, but too little, too late. They gotta get the heck out of there. It's 3D3M. They bided their time. They waited for the respawners, and they definitely took advantage of the fact that Thrembology, they got through the door, but what after? 3D3M knows.
They just got through Cafe too. The fast Cafe push, but they're gonna lose Polydog Wonder on a 10K right now, playing Pocket Scout as Walrex, he's going to bomb it. They're going to get the force play that he doesn't have yet. He's going to pop just as he gets, barely just in time. And this Uber is significantly better, and they're on the chase now.
But they didn't get any kills.
They couldn't get any damage either. They chased the Scouts, but, the Scouts kind of hard to hit. And Raph, he's going to get a kill at Choke. Wonder on an 11K, going to kill Body. Wonder finally going to fall, but at what cost, as 3 players are dead from the side of 3D3M.
3D3M's better Uber did not chase anyone, and their post was pretty much just as
they
bad.
chased the medic Scout, who were going to, Mach 5 leaving.
Instead of the Devilman at Choke, and even still, They got collapsed on. There was no
Oh,
scout
but
near
that
the combo.
rocket from Paul Dog.
They got Speedy. That's going to slow them down. It's actually going to buy time
He had
for
like a
Walrus and
200
Raph.
damage rocket, and Divine dropped a 40. So that was an instant like end of that push.
Yeah. Overall, I think this ad is pretty negligible. It's only 15%, so I'm not really sure if we're going to see too much pushing when it comes to Ubers. But doesn't seem like 3-3M wants to dry off of Speedy's death. They had some people rolling out themselves, so weren't able to immediately use it. But yeah, Wonder on Sniper. Seems like that's going to be the play from the side of Thrembology to break this stalemate, as they are in the driver's seat, even if you don't think this is negligible ad for some reason, even though it's 15%, now 10%. They'd still be in charge of trying to break this nonetheless. So we'll see how 3D3M kind of deal with it. There's a certain level of aggression.
They spotted it.
You eventually have to pull out to prevent him from taking shot after shot, but the question is, when do you pull the trigger? They're just around this corner. They might want to Uber and the timing is right, but actually, bomb coming in from both angles. Paulog in front, Walrus behind, they're cleaning up, they've gotten 2 kills. Divine top of the
Oh,
we're good to get the drop into 3, man! They didn't see this coming from any direction whatsoever, just in through all sorts of doors. 2 soldiers behind, so that's going to slow things down. I mean, it's going to slow things down a bit, but they really got to get this force.
Oh, this is, look at Sax, he's just in the corner, and they have no idea. Look at this, the spam. They're actually getting so much cap time. Look at this. Oh my god, they actually might get this cap.
BD gets arrowed.
They got it. The cap. That's gonna buy so much.
It's gonna give Wonder forwards as well.
Yeah, Wonder forwards. This is that was actually a really heads-up play there. They had to go back and deal with it, but the 2 soldiers they chose the correct door. You know, sometimes you do just get lucky and get the correct door, and it ends up paying off in the end. As a
full ad for 3D3M though.
Yeah, full ad for 3D3M, but Paul Dog might fall. Actually, gonna get a bow, gonna get dropped very low. Sack's gonna fall as well, so the flank play there not gonna work. They're gonna have to back up as 3D3M getting very aggressive.
Oh, they're just in, but this is going to be a solo Uber. Vody's not really ready to chase. Have to be careful, but they think seems like they're on the same page now. They recognize that, yeah, they're out. I mean, we'll just get a 2 for free.
Oh, Platinum gonna take some damage.
Speedy alone, getting chased down by a scout, barely lives 7 HP to last, actually ducks into lower. The scout can't find him, but does eventually get the pistol kill on to Speedy, and they've left one cap still going forward. Seems they can buy some extra room, but will not be successful. Things will eventually Uber out, or even out, and Paul Dog might even die. Maybe, yes, no. Yes, will die, but Saxon will indeed die for that kill. But Crusoe still lingering around in, might find a door to get out, but it's actually just a distraction for the Walrus bomb. Divine Surf is not what it needed to be. Up against the wall, will get forced. Trying to chase down Plaid, a little bit of damage on him, but not quite enough, as this scout definitely has to back away out of the door. And 3D3M, they've lost both their soldiers, but it was enough chaos to get that force, and Wonder thwarted out of the side of the dungeon. Might actually die depending if they chase him down. Will indeed fall, but Plaid inside. Oh, it doesn't matter. Vody able to get the kill on the JT.
And Vody was prepared.
No
Vody was
scouts,
ready.
they're just in. Double scout maybe getting the kill onto Averted, just a heavy and medic alive on last. Actually, there's a soldier lingering around, but immediately the former 2 fall. So Divine, last one left alive, and side of 3D3M. I mean, they play the chaos in their favor tenfold, leading to the first round, a very long round at that, 1-0 in their favor.
That was what was that, a 23-minute round? That was up there.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that was a 23-minute round. That was up there. So, after a long back and forth, we have finally arrived at our second mid-fight.
Yeah, for once, mid-fights aren't going to be the pinnacle of a game. It's not going to be the thing that tells the story. So make sure you're able to play the map pretty well, because the mids aren't going to matter as much in comparison to the other ones. Vody a little bit weak. Will take an arrow. Mind the roar battle. Walrus will win it inside their cafe, but will get cleaned up, as they're actually pretty aggressive on the side of 3-3. Able to clean house. The bomb comes from Paul Dog.
Oh, Averted spot out too.
But doesn't quite hit the shot. Divine pretty weak though. Can't really commit. Has to back up and yeah, able to get that kill, but they know that the medic wasn't very healthy. Unable to really heal these people very close, but no soldiers to bomb in and really threaten that, already expended that resource, so seems like both teams are like kind of okay. No Raph actually peeking around. Gotta be careful, respawn's coming in, but just Chad's up. Takes down Wonder, says, I'm better than Wonder, I can take him down. And
Sax is going for the flank, and did they spot it? Oh, they did spot it. Averted actually gonna climb down. Raph is just running. He's just running a look.
Didn't roll it to the combo. Averted just dead. Raph will fall, taken down by Saxon, who finally is able to work his way there and make sure that the threat onto his medic is a bit thwarted. But no demo, man. No stickies. The 3-3M have a real shot at getting a nice attempt at a force here. Just gotta heal up and find the correct door. Both soldiers over by the barrels trying to spam down the doorways, and Paulog gonna be killed by the side of Sax, and Walrex, with that 1 kill already underway, just decide to not sack after all. Saxphone in under, gets a nice shot over Cruz, but will eventually die, and Wonder on the chase wants to get the soldier himself. On to Walrex, eats the pill, is fine, has the high ground, still wants to fight this. Nice direct from the side of Walrex to make sure that Wonder's a bit weak, but still wants more. Running at him, 1 missed shot though, might be enough. Walrex with the melee kill, but still alive. He will get pistoled down, and Averted gets the kill into Raph as well. Speedy is his in, fighting him like alone, Plaid in the corner. Will eventually have to pop out a 3rd rocket, but Speedy jumping away, Paul unable to get the kill, and they're just lingering in the lobby and win. 3-3M, they're crumbling. Thrembology is on a rampage right now, getting another kill into Pogon, and they're just working their way through. Second is free, they don't have to expend their Uber at all. And That was beyond textbook. That was miraculous by them. They pulled it off.
Well, Platinum almost dropped too. He had his bows out as that second rocket hit. Ended up having 12 HP or 14 when he popped. So Platinum gonna have to pop the end means that this is pretty large ad for the size of Thrembology. They're gonna try to get in. We'll see if they actually want to use this or get in with that without using. They actually are gonna use healing the force, but averted. He gets piped as he tries to jump, and his bomb isn't able to get in. They get wall wrecks, but we're in a classic leapfrog situation. But they gotta be careful. This is a 5v6, and they still gotta build this Uber up a bit. Thrembology's gonna have time to set up some sort of plan to see how they deal with this incoming Uber ad.
Yep, they're going to be missing Walrex too, which means that we might see another flank play. Thrembology been partial to that, just a tad. They got to spot the door first, and yeah, they're going for it. They will arm the Rakuso in Valley, so they're not actually going for the force. They don't even need it. They pop through for the fight of 3D3M. They got Divine so weak, he's 4 HP, the Sticky's body.
But the collapse, let's see.
Dying in the back line, actually 3D3M flank is being somewhat successful at thwarting the Saxon. Only one left alive, gets the damage onto Walrex and chases him down, but Walrex jumps away, uses the wall shot to make sure he lives, and Walrex plays him, reads him like a book. Oh my god, Saxon will die. Speedy and averted, last one left alive as their medic had fallen on that Uber, and 3D3M, I mean, they're taking their revenge. They might have had a little bit of oopsies that prevented them from being able to take last earlier and find success, but they're right back on it, looking at a free second point.
They're looking at a free second point, and potentially another last push. They do have 30% ad if they build this properly, and that is definitely enough to push off of if that's what their heart desires. We'll have to see if they want to do this. You don't want to be only have one round going to into the overtime. That could be a little spooky. Picking up 2 rounds is a lot better as Walrex goes in, isn't able to do much, just a sad soldier sack as he's gonna die, and that's gonna be...
I guess he saw an opportunity. They have ad, and normally you'd see him just like wait for the Uber, but I guess he saw something really good. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter that we have Uber ad. I'm gonna
or maybe
go for
they just don't plan on going in. I don't know. We'll have to see. Or maybe he's planning coming up spy. Who knows?
Rakuso wants to go lower or top right or something.
Oh, yeah, Rakuso wants to go top up. Speedy
left,
doing a pretty good job denying it so far. Speedy actually might end up living, at least for the time being. Speedy actually living for a lot longer than he should have, considering there's an Uber directly in his face. But this is going to be a 6v5, and both teams do have, rather, Thrembology does have Uber. Let's see if they've used it. They are going to use it. They're going to beat up Rakuso. They're going to get Raft. They're going to get Walrex. Sax is going to fall,
JT
but
behind.
this is already a disaster. And JT is actually...
Paul
he actually does get beaten up by Paul Dog, so that's going to be a 3-for-2 in the end. But both Ubers are pretty even. Only slight ad for the side of 3D3M, and they want to push off of this 4v3. And they're going to get Paul Dog. That's a pretty good start. Speedy gets launched in, and he's behind in Valley.
He just
unable to get the
people
pack.
rolling out.
Yeah, finds the players rolling out. When they're going to fall, that might signal a retreat, as we do have a lot of shenanigans happening in lobby. As Raphael taking a fight, going to back up, and Walrex getting aggressive as well, going to get Sax, just trying to roll out and peek the doors, and now it's Thrembology who's 3 down.
Rakuso missed one shot, but it might be enough. Divine, really weak, but just stacking the cap in time. Thor is going to be enough to seal the deal as 3DM a little bit back and forth that round, but able to collect another round, 2-0 in their favor.
Yeah, these rounds have been so chaotic. It feels like both teams are just playing like they do not care. They are just going in. They want to fight at all times as much as possible. You know, the game only really slows down when it's like even Ubers.
It is leading to a lot of mistakes from both sides, but the side of 3-3M is definitely they're cleaning up and salvaging just a bit better, especially in the times where it matters when you're on the opponent's last. As seems like going to be a left side mid for the side of Thrembology, able to get the rocket onto the soldier bombing in, but Rock's just going behind, buying some time and some space, but Paul on side of the light tower. They're actually able to get Saxon over a 1-4-1 frame, but the bomb from Speedy coming in late, getting flashed. They have to find their way to Divine as best they can. As he's over by Cafe with the rest of the teams kind of backing up, but no one's really healthy to really go in here. Paul's kind of
going
stuck.
for the flank, and oh, they don't spot him.
Oh, they don't
Are
see
they
him at
going to
all.
Averted finally spots him. Raphael going to run behind, so that is going to be the distraction play. As Raphael, he's in choke, he's through the stickies. He's going to go try to fight JT. Raphael lives for a little bit, but in the end, it's going to fall as Body's actually peeking choke a little aggressively. It's got to be a bit careful here as he's going to back up, and that is going to be a mid-win for Thrembology. So still a minute 44 seconds left till we get infinite overtime back in the swing of things at Thrembology. If they get this round, they're in a much better position in this match.
While the Walrex is a little bit blind, not going to be quite the right time.
Paula gets Speedy,
the flank as well.
But JT gets him. So both soldiers down for 3D3M means that this might be a little. Actually, they're almost at Uber. There's 30%. They're gonna go fast through lower. No soldiers to spam them. There's demo. Body's hiding in the lobby, so there's no sticks. He's on point.
Oh, that might be sealing the deal here. Thrembology, they're getting a lot of damage on Rakuso. Able to take down the heavy damage onto the one of the scouts. And
oh, they get the Uber though. They did get the Uber.
In the equation, they
this
get
post fight. They're not getting any kills. No kills in the post fight. Averted. They do get averted, but there's a lot of players in there. They're just gonna stream in and
they finally almost dead.
There's no stickies in the point because he had the dead.
just enough. The fact they got so deep, it almost didn't really matter they got the Uber in time. They didn't have soldiers to really chase. Their post-Uber positioning, I feel like Demo Medic alone, top left for the side of 3D3M, was a little bit spooky. It kind of took VOD out of the picture, even though Speedy basically gave up his life for it. Because that was enough for them to just stack the cap. He had a doubt for himself, like he said. So a really nice job taking the chaos into their own hands for the side of Thrembology as we're on to another mid.
Yeah, I'm very curious how this mid's going to play out, because we've only seen 3 mids so far. This is going to be our 4th mid, and if this mid goes even, we can easily have a 2-2 game in our hands heading into overtime. But I'll have to see how this goes. This mid timing is unfortunate for Thrembology, and if they lose this mid, they could just lose the match. And that's going to be
the
bleed damage, and Averted's going to die as well, means that this is going to be a Thrembology mid, unless something really disastrous happens. Nice bomb in, but unable to clean up Plaid, as Plaid is going to live. So, Thrembology back on last, and they are down a round. And now it is going to kick in if in overtime. So, if 3D3M wins this round, they do win the match.
Might be the last mid fight that we saw there. But you do have Saxophone behind. They have 2 staying back to make sure this is capped. So, this aggression from the side of 3D3M, not only do they get one up, but they're not punished for it whatsoever, despite not having the players to really watch the other doors. So, really nice play for them, making sure that they can...
They're just in through the other door. They know they don't have the numbers.
Unpunished, and it's actually going to be a big boon for them if they can pull this off and Uber the right
time.
time.
Oh, Walrex, he's living in the spawn.
He's living in the spawn at 31 HP. Eats there, Uber still hasn't been extended.
Walrex bombs the heavy. But averted. Okay, they're going to use on him, but they... I don't know if Thrembology have the numbers here for this post. Yeah, they're going to lose Wonder immediately, and this Buddhist, he's going to just get spammed out. More than likely, Averted's going to fall, and he's just getting, they don't have the numbers. That's going to be the match.
Greed. Not only they knew, everyone in the server knew that there was a player disadvantage for the side of 3D3M because they sent 2 back for Saxophone, but even still, with that knowledge in hand, not only did they get the kill onto Wonder in lobby, but they worked their way, Walrex in particular, bought so much space, lived in the spawn, and they got like an extra 1 or 2 kills off that distraction, despite all the odds not being in their favor. That was quite the way to seal the deal and a 3-1 in their favor.
Yep, it's definitely that was one of the more chaotic matches I've seen in a while. That one was that one, both teams playing like they have absolutely nothing to lose, as they yeah, it is going to be, I guess I was 1 off in my pregame prediction of the 3-2. So
I was off my 4-1.
Yeah, your 4-1 was also, you're only 1 off too. So we were close. Wasn't quite up to the script, but close enough, as that is going to be the compromise. So I believe that means 3D3 goes up to we have
5.5 wins.
Yeah, 5.5 wins. Shout out to 1J_Y with the correct score. Yes, what a genius.
So I guess technically, if you compare this to their other match, it means 3D3M, they did a little bit better than before. They closed it out more, and Thrembology might have to go back to the drawing board and figure something out if they want to try to beat them. But I mean, at the end of the day, when you compare the 2 teams and their standings like adjacent to each other, there's still a lot of matches. There could be upset wins and losses and etc.
Okay.
There's still like 3 more weeks of matches to be played. But you can have the logs up on the screen here. Anything catch your eye immediately?
Both Combo Scouts having a very fun game with pretty much almost identical stat lines. Just Raph died 1 more time, but considering how aggressive Raph was playing, that doesn't surprise me.
And all of the soldiers were sad.
Yeah, the only soldier who might have been slightly happy was Walrex, but everyone else was sad. Saxophone, sad stat line. Speedy, sad stat line. Demos, they played demo. I don't think anything too extreme.
This map's too big for you to like consistently like get a kill close to. Usually things die so far away, it's like, oh, fight's over. You can get your damage pump though.
Yeah, you can spam your like 40 damage stickies across the map, or get the choke as they're walking in. But
yeah,
it's usually if the fight's happening close to you, that might not be a deal.
Maybe if you get last pushes, then that can seal the deal.
You can farm a lot of damage there.
But especially since it was so back and forth, and there were some moments where it slowed down just a tad. There were some sniper moments that really prevented anything from happening, because sniper locking things down, a sentry gun on last, it's kind of hard to have really high DPM stats in that moment. So I think overall it looks pretty standard. I mean, when you compare the logs to each other, like they're relatively similar in terms of the stats of the players themselves.
It was close in the end. Like it was a close for most of the match, so it makes sense that the stats are pretty close. But 3D3M having slightly more kills also does make sense. Both medics having similar stat lines as well. I thought that match was going to be one of those matches where we had like 3 or 4 drops in the beginning, but after that, they settled down.
Yeah, that start was a little bit wild.
I don't know if it was nerves or what, but that was crazy. Although Divine,
get him out of the way.
Yeah, Divine also had some close calls, but in the end, he did have the Chad Ubers didn't. The Chad holding on to the Uber didn't pay off in the end, but they were appreciated.
Yeah, actually, one of the rare times where the team that wins has more medic deaths. I mean, that's it's
Yeah,
not like it's a first or anything, but it's just like like a little small like fun
yeah.
fact. It only really happens in games that are like even relatively close. But it was one of those. 3-3M definitely made sure that even in the times where Plaid died, they were able to find a way to cause some chaos. And Thrembology did too. They actually did, I think, more flank plays from the side of like uh from them, like the initiation. Like, all right, the play is going to be try to go behind. Where I think 3D3M was more salvaging in their successes. So they definitely salvaged to their heart's content, and it worked out.
Most definitely. As I don't know if we're gonna have any reviews. Last time 3D3 won, we don't have any reviews. Although last time they were carrying in fear because they messed up the match config again. So no, that didn't happen this time. We had our first 3D3M no match config issue cast. Very exciting stuff.
Yeah,
As
sometimes you win your match and you just want to vibe,
true, yeah, I
It
understand.
be
Yeah,
like that sometimes, but I guess that's probably gonna be done,
yeah,
for
yeah.
us. Any final thoughts or shout outs from you, Space?
Ooh, thoughts. I don't have that many of those. I'm not good at that whole thinking thing.
Alright.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
I
get.
can I'll shout out skis for you then.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah shout out the skis.
Alright, well, for matches this week, I'm pretty sure we have, Covenant versus 3D3M tomorrow, and then Froyo versus G6 on Thursday. So, that should be a pretty hype matchup, and there's other matches this week they're pretty nice too that you can maybe catch, either with our matches that we're casting, maybe even just a Wednesday match. It could be pretty hype. Depends on when things get scheduled around, but, you know, for tonight, that'll be it for us for the most part. No other really things to comment on. So thank you so much for watching. Hope we will see you either tomorrow or on Thursday for those casts that are upcoming. I've been Jarrett casting with Space Ghost with Dolphin on production. Thank you and good night.
Good night.